Good day, viewers. It's another exciting episode today of Impact Pod. We're here today with wonderful people in the house.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
We're doing something very different from the norm of what we've actually done. And I hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like. Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
I'll be introducing our guests in the house, and you already know a lot of the familiar faces. We have SOJ, we have Tony,
you have me.
Impact Queen.
Yeah, the queen.
Nadu, and we already have our brother SOJ. But I have two this. Should I call you guys gentlemen?
Man, you can call me, you know,
the men of men.
You gotta put some sauce on extraordinary, you know.
Okay.
The super fan, you know, you gotta put the.
I got this extraordinary. I'm not gonna call them gentlemen because if you hear their stories, I don't know if there's anything gentle about it. I'm gonna let
allegedly.
them. Allegedly.
Remember that word?
I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. To my left.
Check it out. It's Anthony Spalding, aka AM Spalding, aka Rev X the King. Depending on when you knew me, when you know me, how you know me now.
We're talking
Aunt G, dog. You know what I mean?
Exactly what I said. There's nothing gentle.
A whole bunch of names, man. You know, special though, for real. You know.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it simple, man. My name Donald Brown. They call me Dino from the west side of Chicago, Rockwell Projects, born and raised, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The dirty West.
We start from the
Ain't
right
nothing
way.
dirty about the west.
Not that.
West Side.
All right.
Okay, the wild West.
Yeah.
Nah, nothing wild about it.
Well,
Yeah.
The humble
We've
way.
had various episodes on this on our podcast, and there's always one thing our viewers always come to talk back to us about, like, oh, you guys are talking about African Americans, but you don't even have anyone that's African American to talk from their own perspective.
Right.
On the program, and you guys are just saying all kind of bull. But I got you guys here today, and I'm gonna put you on the spot.
you got some real ones today, you know.
Yeah.
Specifically me, you know.
Okay.
You're talking to one right now, you know.
So
you'll get no better than this.
I'm gonna start.
Okay.
In the real sense of being an African American,
Right.
from your own point of view, what is it like?
Well, I'm an African in America, you know. As I gain my consciousness, I understand that, you know, I was raised here, but I'm not from here. You feel me? For those that know, you know, we were brought here on slave ships, pillaged from our motherland, and brought here to do not indentured servitude, but slavery, slave work. You know, work the fields, do this, do that, to be a part of the industrial colonization and everything else they got going on in America now that developed to what it is today. So yeah, we, you know, the ones that know. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question too.
Relax.
What is it?
Let him introduce himself.
Oh.
Damn. It looks like you're here with
to answer the question.
you're here with the weapon.
Yeah,
now
because I'm trying to
destruction. She's just trying to bull out.
Feeling
No,
that
let him
energy.
introduce
Okay,
himself.
I'll slow down.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Come
Queen.
on, sir.
Yeah.
How do you feel? What's it like being African American?
In America, man, it feel to me it feel wonderful, but a lot of racism, targeting, and you know, a lot of like you said, mothership. We come up for the mothership and everything.
Right. It is, man. Yeah.
So, how will you guys talk about your early childhood? How was it?
The childhood.
Yeah, the early childhood.
I mean, for me, I grew up with a 2-parent home. You know, my mom was a teacher. My father was in the military, worked a regular job. And what I always say is that it wasn't just living in the neighborhood. It was from going from home to school where I got engulfed in the street life. You know what I mean? You know, the gangs out there.
Where did you grow up at?
I grew up in the Hundreds. I'm from the Wild Hundreds, 10 Trey. That's south side of Chicago.
Like 103rd.
103rd, that's exactly 10 Trey, 130 Wentworth.
He got that west side in his blood, though. That's
Yeah, you know, I came and kicked it out. I got caught up in all the folly. I got kicked out of Percy L. Julian,
Okay.
the high school out there. I was a student. I was a heck of a student, you know what I mean? Valedictorian and all that, but the streets were still, you know.
What
got
year
caught up in the
was
street.
that? Like
That was 94.
Grade school, high school.
Yeah, that was 94. All through grammar school, through high school, I've been smart. My mom, like I said, my mom was a teacher and all that. And just got caught up in the streets, you know. You grow up fighting and, you know, all that stuff like that, and you gang banging. And it is, what I often say is not if we was gonna go and join a gang, it was which gang we was gonna join. That was the environment. You know, the crack epidemic in the 80s and 90s. So I was encapsulated by the flash and the jury and the rims and the sound, all that. So I wanted that. So a quick way to get in
Open
that.
your eyes to that.
Well, you see it.
Like
Every day when you walk into school,
Peer
it's
pressure.
everywhere. You feel me? Everywhere you walk, you see the guys out there selling drugs.
Lifestyle then.
That was like, man, I mean, to keep it 100, one of my classmates, he used to come to school with knots of money. You know, knots of money, like big knots. His name was Cha-Cha, rest in peace, Cha-Cha from 10th Trey. But he was, his cousin was a high-ranking member of, the organization I joined. And he'd be like, man, come out to school, man, we gonna get this money. So I'd be hanging out there. I'm 12 years old. Yeah, so I started building that way.
How old were you then?
12. You feel me? And then I had an older brother that was also in the mix too. So trying to be like him, trying to see what's going on. You try to get in you try to get down with the get down. So yeah, that's what it is. I got in with them and took off from there. You feel me? So yeah.
So
How high did you go before everything came crashing?
How high did I go? Well,
When did you first get arrested?
I got
We
arrested.
gonna get that.
We gonna get that. We gonna get that.
everything is going with
She was give us to 100.
Just trying to get to the end. we got a 1.5 hours.
They
So
say you gotta warm it up first. You gotta warm your hands before you massage me. You know what I
You
mean?
just do the interview.
But on the flip side for him, I wasn't born with two parents in the house, so it was just my mother. And I was born and raised in the project, Chicago, West Side, Rockwell Gardens, and went to Crane High School. Like he said, you see the older guys with the drugs, the money, the cars, and you want to imitate that. You want to be that. And it's crazy that my father lived in the same building that we stayed in. He stayed on the 5th floor, we stayed on the 13th floor, and never came and visited us, saw us, none of that. And that, that's the crazy part, and that's what hardened us as young black men. You see that, and you see your parents, father not even communicating and talking to each other, nothing like that. That was a hard part for us to see my mother struggle on her own.
What was his reason of not coming?
Well,
keeping in
that's-
touch. Was it because your mom and his relationship, or he just?
You was a female. You know how it is when a man stopped dating a woman and the woman stopped dealing with him. He typically cut the
So
girl.
how old was you when he pulled away?
Had to be like 19 years old.
Okay. Are you his only child with your mother?
No, 4.
Okay.
And he
wow.
had 3, and I got 3 other siblings.
After your
Yeah.
mother. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
How old? Do you mind if I ask? Like, how old was your father at that age? Like at that time for you?
I really don't know.
Okay.
he already said the relationship wasn't there from the younger age, so getting such information wouldn't be easy.
Well, I mean, it's the trauma in our community for sure. It's like if nobody taught him how to be a father, how he gonna be a father?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So I'm
that's
gonna
what-
imitate the guys that's in the building.
Yeah.
They
But
was
those
my
are the father figures you're
father
saying.
figures
The streets is your father.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
basically.
The streets become your
And
father.
it's crazy that my father was there, and I seen him every day, and he, was on crack cocaine and everything, and
so
walked right past,
surprising.
and
That's so surprising.
yeah,
The one of the reason is this, sometimes when we try to have conversation, we hear this, and because we don't have the foresight, we've not been in it, it looks like some stories don't add up. But you guys coming here today talking about it, your first-hand experience, because you've experienced it, you lived in it, and now you guys are doing good for yourself. So that's a privilege for us having you guys on this.
For real, because you look very good.
Thank you. Right, get a good look now. I mean, let's not play.
Period. Fresh.
But if I may ask one question,
Yeah.
your upbringing, you growing up,
Yeah.
how does that resonate with you these days?
Well, it does. But to pivot back on what you were saying about being African Americans, right? And we understand that, it's a different culture for us, like the African culture of the pride that fathers have raising their sons. You know what I mean? And that's what we want to have today for the brothers that's, got children in the streets, that's taking care of their kids, or that's, not around to take care of them, that we got to create that village to help raise them up. You know what I mean? So
For real.
You know what I mean? I like
Because you
that
have-
about the African culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about growing up in Africa, a lot of things are changing these days too. But growing up, there's a saying in my language that says "Oju kan lo ma bimo, igba oju lo ma wo," which means it's only like 4 set of eyes that is there when you give birth to a child.
But
But it's a million set of
So the whole
eyes
village
that's going to
to
raise the child.
Okay.
So those million set of eyes have a lot of impact and influence on the kids when they're
Yeah.
growing up. Me growing up, you stay with neighbors, you stay with friends, you stay with people. But it was like a tight knitted community,
Right.
And everybody was always looking out for each other.
And what he's saying is how it used to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You had
That's
a
how it
village.
used to be.
Like
How
my
it
neighbor,
used to be, but not now.
my neighbor could whoop my ass.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if they saw me out,
Teachers too.
the teachers,
When you were young-
you know,
when you
everybody.
were younger, right?
When you was younger,
Yeah,
you know what I
because,
mean?
I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in Tarrytown.
Okay.
And it's like, when I first came to America, I was thinking like the neighborhood that we got in, I was like, this is a mirage. This don't exist in America.
Right.
But then the people in the neighborhood, like they'll tell you like, hey, y'all can't play outside today, you know? Just stay inside. Okay, you know, stay over here. Don't walk on that side of the road. Oh, you're a girl. Don't stand like that. Don't talk like that.
Right.
Oh, close your legs. Well, you know, everybody in that neighborhood made me the person that I am today. Even though I am an African child, I was born in Africa.
Right.
But I grew up in the hood when it was the hood.
Right.
Because I came here it was in 99. So Tarrytown was still hot back then.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was. So it was everybody though
Right.
that told you was scared. I was scared if I see my neighbors and I'm talking to a boy. I was always scared like, oh, they gonna tell my mama.
And you know,
I can count a number of times my neighbors out to report me to my parents, like, oh, it's
Yeah.
right. And you're absolutely right because growing up in our building, when stuff was about to take place, go on, they would come tell the youth.
Yeah.
Look, go upstairs, go in the house.
the
This
way-
about
The
to
woman
happen,
and the
you
kids
know.
was protected
Exactly.
from the time that I came. From versus today, these kids, the people even on the corner don't look as old or even as mature. Even though back then you see young kids on the corner,
Yeah.
it was still that old guy that was still out there with them playing music or shooting dice or something like that.
Right.
These kids now, it's this little ass kids.
It's the
that are
mentality, though.
coming out.
It's the mentality,
Like
for
I'll
real.
be walking down the street. And these little boys come like at night. I parked my car on 76 in Kingston one day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking to my friend's apartment. This little boy just come out. He has a gun in his hand. I'm looking at him like, this little boy like 13, 14. Like, what you doing out here? I'm like, excuse me. That's when my African accent come on.
Yeah.
I beg.
You did right.
Oh, God, I do not understand what you're
Just
talking
thinking about
about.
right. What you
I am
doing?
walking to my house.
He making sure. He
You know?
making sure. He making sure you ain't one of the odds because you know you got the
That's what I
women off
African-
too nowadays. You got to make sure.
I use mine when I get pulled over by the cops.
Oh,
Anytime I get pulled over,
Mr.
good afternoon,
Ossified.
sir. Mr. Officer, how is it going today, sir?
Coming
how's
to
how's the
America?
family, sir?
They will know you're a proper.
On a
I'm
more-
not
on a
doing
more
that.
serious- on a more serious note, things are not getting better, but the worst is just getting refined. Like he said, many Africans who come here don't even know about the crack time.
Right.
Yeah.
I know much about that time because
That's because they close their eyes to it.
yeah, because I listened to a lot of music. It was in rap song I had what Crab Babies was
Yeah.
by Young Thug, Young Duff.
Ugh.
He said Crab Baby. He's a
Right.
product of a
No,
Crab
let's go
Baby.
back.
No, hold
Let's
on.
go
hold on.
back.
1 second. I'm going somewhere.
Tupac?
But these days, all the things you've been through, you were able to turn your life around. Kids of nowadays, they don't still want to listen to your experiences.
Right. And that's my goal. I know we still getting there, but I was sentenced to natural life as a kid, 16
What?
years old, sentenced to natural life for committing murders.
Life?
Yeah, life.
Damn.
Oh,
Yeah,
was
I was
you?
charged with 3 homicides and an attempt. So yeah, I was like, when you say 12, 13 years old, that don't shoot past my mind that's been happening. It's magnified now because people see more of it in the internet. But we was wild. We was wild. And,
It was real.
yeah, it was crazy. So when you say it's a 12, 13-year-old boy, it don't shoot past my mind. If somebody say, man, that little boy out there, well, I know, man, he in it, like, and we'll knock your shit back and don't and go eat dinner later on. And
Right. It's just the social media just publicizing now. That's all it is.
So,
It's been happening.
Well,
but
if you're
it's just
saying
the
it
social-
today, I feel like in today they're doing it just to make it look like, you know, you got the Drakes and so they'll make it want to look like, oh, it's fun to be gangster. But back in the days, you have to live that life. I remember when I'm walking home from school and stuff, I had to put a blade in my mouth, or I had to have a lock in my socker, like just in case somebody. And don't get me wrong, it's not whoever's gonna attack you. It don't matter what color you are, anybody could get it.
Right.
So I had to walk like that to protect myself, being a young woman too. But nowadays, I feel like these kids, oh, they see a gun, oh yeah, let's go shoot out, for fun. Back in the days, was you doing it for fun, or is this because you?
well, it's a cloud thing too, and then it's the other thing. You train. I often call it like brainwashing. Like the older guys say, "Hey man, you see them niggas come over here." I know the Africans don't use that.
No, you're free.
But, some guys come in your area that's not from there, and like when I started hanging with Bro and them crew, it's different from the north side, the west side, the east side. It's just
like
different.
different
So
words.
where I grew up at, it's always on. It's up every time. You see any of the op, it's on. Get them. But when I got out, well, they had to tell me, hey man, no. They like, man, you about to start some shit out here.
Like wild hunt.
Yeah, I'm like, man, this is what we do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. So,
I don't call it brain. I call it manipulation, man.
Well, it's manipulate,
A
absolutely.
lot of guys was manipulated as
By what?
good.
by the environment,
well, no, just by the older guys.
By the older guys. They just-
They've been taught, look,
the same thing.
the same thing.
So
So
they
they
just
telling
give
they
it
just
out.
passing down.
He's just passing down the
Yeah.
information
Right,
they have.
that's all
Passing
it
down
is.
lifestyle. You don't.
I don't.
So
see
they instilled that into the youth. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
But for me,
so,
I see it as means of survivor. Then
Do we say
Yeah.
the means
Well,
of survival?
for me, it wasn't survival because I
You-
lived in
you
the
asked me- you
for,
asked me-
for-
you asked
for me
me why.
specifically, it wasn't. But for other people, they have different
you
circumstances.
ask me why.
Okay.
The way I see that is that people growing up, black kids growing up then, they can't see beyond their environment. Like you said it at the beginning, they couldn't see beyond their environment. They feel like, oh, I want to be like this, I want to be like that, I want to make money.
Right.
So they don't see that a black man can in the society, community that they live in, it can be a doctor, it can be a nurse.
Well, it's the clout because that doctor and the nurse, they ain't cool.
Yeah.
The
and
nigga that's cool.
they not that
They
way.
was expecting
They wasn't in the community with us.
That-
So
once
why
they
we gonna
become a
look up to
doctor, they just
and lawyer?
leave.
Right. The cool ones is
Right.
the guy who got the chains
chain,
on the
the
corner.
watch.
He got the money. He making money.
Right.
So the aspirations,
street.
the thought process to man, no, it's cool to be a doctor and lawyer. Like you can see some of this stuff on social media now. You'll see some of the one of the commentators ask one of the sisters, "Hey, would you rather be with a dope boy or with a doctor?"
Yeah.
That's
And what they gonna say the dope boy all the time. It's like it ain't even a question.
It sound, what's the name? But them jail visits or something. But anyway, I have a question. Have you ever read the book that said the Miseducation of a Negro?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so
I'm well read, so
do
name
you
many books
think
that I
that
haven't
has an impact of like what we were saying when you want to be a dope boy or you want to, you think that had a big impact on growing up in the 80s and 90s?
Of course, I mean, we look at what they call like the Willie Lynch letter. If you read that, you just look at the FBI and all the different things they did to to take our black leaders out that had the the knowledge and the education. So
Exactly.
the ones like I say, the ones that know, and if you're not trying to find out, it's just easy to be blinded by what's going on with the glitz and the glamour and the
I
clout.
was-
'Cause that's what it come down.
I would say something. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, you were like very young guys when you guys, because of the lifestyle that you've seen from friends and whatever. So when did you say that? Okay, right now you went to the street and start, doing the do.
Right.
I just want to copy like
Yeah.
when was the time that you started doing the deal and how was it back then? Was it fair game or was it means of survival?
I mean, it was a little more structured in,
Yeah.
In the 90s, they locked up a lot of the so-called gang chiefs, which had a lot of knowledge and they had a lot of leadership as far as how to direct resources in the, not community, but far as within the organizations, the different mobs. So,
I know I'm coming to him too.
yeah. So it's from that looking at it from that perspective. The guys that had opportunity, like I had an opportunity, like it was no reason for me to be in the streets. You know, if guys had the opportunity I had, you shouldn't have been there. I lived 2-parent home. My mother, my father worked. I was straight. I didn't have to. I was middle class. I didn't have no business being in the street. It was only the lure, and I shouldn't have been able to have that opportunity to be lured. If you understand the laws of United States, the preamble, we should have had the same opportunity with the police that the people have in Evanston and Wilmette. The police should have been like, hey, what y'all doing out on these corners? Man, get up off these corners before these kids come to school. I wasn't afforded that. You know what I mean? And that's why I was trapped by that, you know, with the lure of the streets, man.
So what do you think about
Man, it's rough, man. It's a hard, it's a hard topic to elaborate on because I'm just thinking about this, right? How our community is so messed up as black men, like the immigrants, migrants. Could I bring this up? Talk about this?
Yeah,
like migrants, right? In Colorado, right? I'm just thinking about this. How them migrants went into them old lady women houses, black women. Back then, it wouldn't have happened.
Never.
We would have came together as black communities,
And
black
shot it
men,
up.
and excuse my language, and fuck them people up.
For
You know, so get
real.
the fuck on.
Yeah.
But now, these youth, it's accepted. They laugh and talk about it on social media and stuff like that. You know,
And the people that were against it were being laughed at. That's what I was
that's the crazy.
amazed
I'm
by.
just thinking about when you were talking this shit. That
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
you know,
It's more
No.
knowledge of your history. It's more understanding of where you
Yeah.
come from and the unity at that time.
Unity.
Like even though some of that
Exactly.
stuff was going on, it was still like some black unity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
because
Even-
in our building, if that shit would have happened, we would have shut that whole building down.
Definitely.
And fuck,
Yeah.
and on the blocks, the community, everything.
Yeah.
Ain't no Nigerians, African. We came together as black people.
Exactly.
And get the fuck. You don't fuck with one of us.
Yeah.
See
We
what I'm
were
saying?
stronger.
We
What
were stronger,
happened? So what happened?
But like he said, they took away the so-called black leaders and, you know, and dysfunction. It's
So do
from
you
dysfunction.
think, not to get what's in, do you think that the government had a hand in what the fact, like the change and the unity in the black community?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
no, that's what I was
100%.
saying.
Yes.
Why? How did that happen? How did it happen? Because you have the welfare people
they
on welfare.
because they took away the black men, with strong black men as the
leaders.
community that could guide the youth in the right direction.
But,
You heard that term? You cut the head, the body.
That's
and-
true.
and- yeah.
But if I will try to play like a little bit of devil's advocate right now. When you say that they took the leaders, which was what they did, do you think they took them off in their own mindset, thinking it's gonna break
Yes.
everything
Yes.
and bring us
That's
That's why they
Definitely.
tore the projects down and everything. Yeah,
Definitely.
we're gonna
But-
break everything
But
up.
did that really work?
It
That's
did.
what I'm going
Yeah,
to
It
you see it
definitely
now.
See what's happening
You see what's
today.
going on right now. Yeah, right.
Because let me give you one example. You see when they mess the projects up and stuff like that, that's when the welfare came in. They allow all these people that was in the project, different section 8, from like the north side to the west side to the south side, they mix them up. So if you grew up on the west side, they taking you and they leaving you somewhere on the south side, knowing those people don't get along at all. So there's shootouts everywhere. There's people just getting shot. You getting off a bus, people getting shot in the head because the government knew exactly what they were doing. That's just by the project. And then let's talk about
Well, let's stay with the projects because let me elaborate on that.
Okay.
Because the projects was meant to be temporary. It wasn't meant for people to raise generation and generations of family through that.
No generation
You know,
of
you
wealth.
supposed to be able to, okay, man, you here temporarily, boom, get you a job. Now you going
now
out to get
move
your
on,
own
right.
crib.
Yeah.
And not only that, when you start talking about the welfare system and how they set it up where if you had specific amount of people in there, they could actually remove you from there. So you had the sisters and women who had kids like, well, man, if I can't have the father in a place to be raising them, you know what the father gonna do? Like he's not there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's taking the leadership out of the home.
the
Yeah.
The nuclear family has
because
been
they'll
destroyed
give
from that
you more.
from that point.
from that point right then and there. You take the black father out of there, which is an essential part of raising black men.
Black men.
You know what I mean? Right now you seeing the effects of all these women raising men.
Raising man.
You know, they feminine.
It's
They
not
don't
only
have
that.
I want
You
the
cut
real
down on the
I want the
woman
real
too. A father not being in a woman like, because my father's a big part of my life, and taking the black father away from his daughter.
Yeah.
it's not only the boy.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the woman and removing that. It's supposed to be the woman and the man. Why is it the white kids in the suburb have the dad and the mom and stuff like that in the
Facts,
section 8
yeah.
homes?
Yeah.
When you got in the project, the father can't be at home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why
right.
is it?
It's
Why do
designed
you
like
get
that.
cash
Right.
when the father is not? When you apply
Yeah.
for Link, do you know that when the father is not in the house and stuff, you can get cash? Versus when the father is there, the only thing that they might approve you of is the health care or even the food. They might bet there's specific things that you got to pay for daycare and everything. When the amount of money that you're making is not even enough for that yet.
Yeah.
So you got to write
It's
down on the
diabolical. It's
paper
diabolical is
that
what
the
it
father
is.
is not there,
Yeah.
or you don't know the father.
Yeah.
Because if you put that, you know the father's name on your the kid's birth certificate, then they're gonna chase him down and get him for child support.
Yeah.
Or you had to do something
Yeah.
to that man where he can get locked up.
Yeah.
Or the best option is just not to write the baby's name on his birth
On the birth
certificate.
certificate, yeah.
And then if you on Section 8 and they found out the father, that they kicking the whole family out.
Yeah.
So you
See,
out
but
on
these
the
are
street,
what
that's
you
a
what
lose-lose
y'all talking
situation.
about. These are just new imagined ways of dividing the family up.
Right.
We're talking about
it was a
slavery.
plan.
Oh, take him, move him over there, let them
It's
see,
just
let
more
everybody
than
see them whoop
slavery.
him. Take that sister,
Yeah.
let the white man molest her in front of his son. You know,
yeah.
it's all these different tactics.
Even-
Oh man, we gonna take your kids from you. We gonna sell them over to this other plantation.
Yeah, even
you know
in
what I
the
mean?
Bi-
It's just the
even
real.
from
And then one thing that has been said now that I think it's more of an issue too is the few black men that were able to break out of this never looked back. They were done and gone.
And they had to run
They
away
didn't come.
from the community.
They got out and they didn't think, oh, it was maybe time for me to go back and set an example.
Right.
No.
Or less people. Because one thing, as children, as kids growing up, you're more attracted to what you can see than what you can imagine.
Yeah.
That's why kids will just be kids. Growing up, you just do what you do because
Okay,
it's
let
what
me
you
ask
see.
you a question.
So it's
Are you gonna
easier for
blame
me.
them?
It's
Are you
no, I'm
gonna
not blaming them. I'm not blaming them. But I'm just
trying to
saying
see where
the
did it come
lasting
from.
effect is it has is what I'm saying.
Because I've
it's
seen
easy for
a lot of black men who were able to break out of that, enclave, who tried to go back and they lost their lives.
They lost their lives. I know.
I can mention that.
I'm not, it's the whole system is messed up. But it's easier for a little boy to wake up in the morning, walk into the street, and see someone driving a Cadillac back then, with all the chains and everything, and be attracted to that.
And they even go to school.
But the truth of
Yeah.
the matter is this: I always tell people, the way the African in Americans, like you rightly called them in his intro, he said, "I'm an African in American."
Yeah.
That was the first time I'm hearing that.
Wow.
Be sincere. The way you said it in the intro, it's not even about them too, because we too sometimes we look at the lifestyle of African Americans too. We try to copy some we don't like. We try to do away with it. But the total sum of the matter is this: even in the Bible, I want to go biblical now. Any home that the father is not there, sometimes it's like the devil is waging a war against the family. So it's like these people had like I don't know if you say you read very well.
Absolutely.
Do you remember the syphilis pandemic then, where black men were being injected with syphilis?
Oh, the syphilis, right. Tuskegee
Well,
Airmen.
But
right, yeah.
most people don't know
It's not
that.
only syphilis,
not
you
like
got
Tuskegee
Ebola,
Airmen.
you got
Tuskegee
every disease.
project they did. They gave all black men.
Hepatitis
There's a lot of
hepatitis.
shit coming out
You
right
got all
now.
type of new
And it was
diseases.
all
experience.
influenced on the
Yeah.
black man
Yeah.
before to see how it would work.
I was just talking to.
So what are they gonna blame that on now?
Yeah, I was just talking to a guy, and he said, "Pardon, he's a white guy." A couple of weeks ago, and he told me, if we both go for screening, I'll be warned earlier if I have cells in me that's gonna cause cancer, way before you know yours. You'll probably be in stage 3 before you know yours, and they will catch mine early and let me know. He showed me the ratio on the system. I forgot what it's called.
Crazy.
But I said, it's by your color. I would know. They will give me an early warning. They will give me this. Oh, you have this, bro. He said, for you, they're gonna catch you late. It's just what it
Definitely.
is.
Or it's even like being a black person and going to the hospital. Being black and going to the hospital
It's different.
You can't even be black and just go to normally as a human being, you're supposed to go to the hospital for a checkup, your hair hurt and everything. But in America, even European countries, as a black person walking into the hospital, you have to be scared because just for a headache, they might tell you that you got to go for operation for something, and then next time they cutting off your limb, they taking
You just
out all
don't know. You don't know what you in there for.
They never sent you home.
That's if you get in there.
Black,
Right.
you can't even walk as a black man
Man.
or a black young woman. You can't even go to a hotel party where you might make it back out alive. You get on the system. It's so just because of being a black person. It don't matter if it's and then that's so crazy that he said he's an African in America. We never heard that. I never heard that before.
Never.
Because it's they divide it in every way. They even try their best to divide the African American community and the African community like it's a different.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's one.
Oh, we gotta keep it separate.
all
You
black,
gotta
man.
keep it. You gotta
Ain't
keep
no
it separate.
difference.
They
Right.
have
We
to
all black.
divide
Separate,
and
yeah.
conquer.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what they did because there's a lot of African American kids that are growing up in America that are stuck in the street life because they really don't know where they're coming from. They don't.
They don't have guidance.
You
You
know,
won't
not
blame
even
them.
guidance. You know where you're coming from. If you ask your name right now, if you go to Nigeria and you say this is who I am, they will show you your father's home.
Right.
They will show you your great.
Yeah, they will tell you the
kings
story of your
and
name.
Every
Yeah.
person
You're
because
right.
of your name.
Yeah.
There's African American in America that will never know that.
Never
so
know.
they're
Right.
lost
Yeah.
because of that. And that's what been done. Like you saw the Roots when they took Kunta Kinte,
Yeah.
they beat his name.
They took the name from
that
him.
name from
Yeah.
them to make them not know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So these kids, you're growing up in a home with a father and a mother,
Yeah.
but they're working hard in America,
Right.
which is not where your spirit's from in the beginning.
Right.
So these laws and
Look
stuff
at
that they
Nadu.
have upon
Nadu.
you was never.
Nadu, you're firing up. Relax.
But that's
justice
like what
is
he
mercy.
said. That's called
Get a fan.
structure.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
called
Man,
structure.
relax.
That's
Tone
what
down.
it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's called structure. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Structure.
okay. From my own perspective, I would like to direct the question to you guys. At what age or what time, if you're not, were you, what did you do? If you can talk about it, good. If you can, no problem. At what age, what time, how many years, and
And what was the experience?
what was the experience?
Well, I started going to jail as a juvenile. 14, 15 years old, juvenile detention center. And-
Audi home. We call the Audi home in
Yeah.
Chicago. That's what they call the Audi home.
I'm grown now,
It's
so I
for-
call
it's for,
juvenile
for kids
detention.
that's 17 years, under 17 years of age.
Right.
Yeah. So
And what was it like then?
It was
What was you
wild,
arrested
bro.
for, if you don't mind me asking?
Excuse me.
What was you arrested for?
Auto theft
Oh.
as a juvenile, drugs and auto theft. I can talk about that now. So
Yeah, I know.
statute of limitations is
Yeah,
7
no,
years
no,
for that, bro. You
yeah, I can
good.
talk about
You
it.
good.
I mean,
It ain't nobody. You good. You good.
How was
It wasn't no
experience?
years. It was months. It was months in the juvenile detention.
Juvenile detention, okay.
Yeah.
How was the
And
experience being in there?
wild,
Oh yeah, it's up.
wild, bunch of young
fighting.
wild.
You
Yeah,
fighting all
every
the
day,
time
like
now.
bunch of young wild.
Are they looking
men,
for
like,
leaders? That's why they've been wild inside.
yeah,
Well, no, it's like you was saying, like from east side, north side, everybody in there together now.
It's together.
You on
So
different
from east
yeah,
side,
you in
you
there
got
together.
Different
You got
hoods
the
in one
wildest,
place
yeah, you
like
got the
that.
wildest,
You got
of the
the
wildest
gangster.
youth
Yeah.
bottled up in one place.
So did it make
Angry.
you want to get better when you left out of there, or it made you want to prove yourself?
Or even
tougher?
then, where they
What
give
about-
them
It made you want to prove yourself.
Yes, there you go.
proof
To
what?
the streets,
That's
To the
yeah.
street.
your hood,
Your hood,
like-
yeah.
That means
Yeah.
what's the
From where I'm
impact
from, I am
then?
what I am.
Yeah.
That's what they want. They're trying to break you away. They're trying to break the mentality away from the outside world, how to grow it. So these are young boys. They lock them up in one place, fuck them up some more. So when they go back in the street, they're bound to come back in.
Well, don't forget the probation system that never works.
And you
No,
got
right.
the big mirror. What is it called? The mirror with the 3 strikes or something?
Oh, 3 strikes,
like that?
yeah. But
That's
that,
in California somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's
It
not
wasn't.
Chicago.
It
That's not
wasn't.
Chicago.
Well, how was it
Nah.
in Chicago? How
In
many
Chicago, most of the time they put you on probation your first case.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If it's not what you call a violent offender, if it's not a felony, you get off with probation, and that's how they set you up. You get the probation, they get you on.
Yeah, that's a setup move.
get you
on
Because they
probation.
know everybody gonna jump on
You
it.
gonna
Take
go
it. So
back
now
in.
it's a recycle
So
system.
now they
It's
get you
messed
back
up.
in it.
So now you stuck in the system.
Now
The
you
first
in the
time you get
system.
probation, you can't get it no more. It's over with.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now you stuck in this system. It's a recycle system.
When they
Wow.
get you on probation, say
And
you
they
got a
pick
year
you up for a
probation,
bag of weed,
and
you
you catch
still on
some,
probation.
and now you got that
Probation, you
time,
back
now
on
you in the
probation.
system.
So you now got this weed case and violation probation.
Violation.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying now?
A bag of weed.
Yeah. So now you stuck. Not
Which
the
is
bad
legal
weed,
now.
It's a dirty drop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
The
Dirty drug. Yeah, it's a
Right.
it's
Drug
a
test, all that.
violation of urinalysis.
Yeah, so you a
you popped
violation.
up positive. If you pop up positive, the time that you was under your probation, you have to serve in either a juvenile detention center, which is called the ID home, or if you older, you going back to the prison.
To the prison.
So, like, how many years? Like, was there any years?
So how many times have you been in and
The juvenile.
the longest you served? Yeah.
You talking about overall or the juvenile?
You can break it down.
Man,
Well,
man, the time don't even count. Man,
I served 27 years altogether. 27 years combined, and before that, I served months at a time in the ID
You don't
home.
even look like somebody who spent a week.
Well, I mean, thank you, man. You know, I like when Nana.
You guys are
I like
taking good care of
what she
yourself.
said.
Right,
I like what she said. I like what she said. You know, I like what she said. Let me. You know what she
Black
said.
man, black
Yo,
girl, I see
sister,
you.
all right. I mean, look at
You were
me.
given, you said you were given life,
I was given natural life.
natural life. So
I was sentenced to life.
how did the case turn over? So you know,
Well, actually, I was resentenced on the juvenile resentence, Miller versus Alabama Supreme Court case that was turned over that allowed juveniles under diminished capacity. It was what is called is 9-prong test that says you don't have the brain capacity, you don't have the brain development, and extenuating circumstances as far as how you grew up and things of that nature that allowed you to get an opportunity to come home. So I committed my crimes. I can actually say I committed my crimes. I was guilty of it all. I did that shit. I knocked that shit back for sure. Bogusly, you know what I mean? Nothing to be proud of, but I definitely did it. And I got a blessing, man, you know, through my spiritual development, education, worked some ways in the law library where I was, you know, grinding, reading, studying, and we helped cultivate the juvenile bill, which got over 109 juveniles like myself an actual opportunity to come home after they had a life sentence. So, yeah.
If I might ask a deeper question, what was the effect on your parents when you got locked up? How was it while
My parents were so
for the both of
naive.
them, right?
Yeah, how was it while you were locked up? And
My parents were so naive, man, because, like I say, for the most part, everybody thought I was a good boy. You know, I was a star athlete. I played baseball. You know, that was my thing. I played baseball, and I was real good in school with books. I was book smart. I just wasn't street smart. So the guys could send me out. They could tell me anything. I'm just gone because I was manipulated, like bro said. But my parents were so naive to what I was actually doing. You know, they probably, oh yeah, he getting into fights. They come pick you up to the police station, or you get caught with some drugs or something like. But it wasn't to the extent that they was thinking. And that's what in my book, I wrote a book called Distractions while I was incarcerated, by Anthony Spalding. Distractions. Distractions. It was a book. It's a book guaranteed to speak to the youth and to the parents of the youth, so you understand what you're looking at, because you might think your kid is just the greatest thing in the world. And when, like I say, from that perspective, I was class president, valedictorian, straight A student.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So on paper, it looked like this. Like, man, you talking about my boy? Nah, I don't want to hear that. Get that, you know.
you checked all the boxes.
I'm going to church. All that, you know. I was playing instruments in the choir and all that when I was a kid. So to come up to a position to where it's like, man, this dude, they say he out here shooting people. What? What you mean? They came and grabbed me from
a horrible.
Listen, they came and got for my first case. They came and got me from my home in the middle of the night, and the police told my mom, I'll never forget it. He killed some people, and she was like, "Man, get out of here." They told him, "Say, go take him. What y'all want to do with him?" They said, "We gonna give him a lie detector test."
Damn.
I passed the lie detector. She said, "I told y'all this ain't my
You
boy."
did what? wait, come back.
Beat that shit out.
You passed?
I passed it.
Oh, I'm scared of you.
I was just trying. I tried some shit and it worked. It worked. So I just kept, doing it over and over again. But yeah, so it's a lot of naive parents out there. Okay. They could say, oh, they raise their kids up, we doing the best they can. They feeding you, they clothing you, making sure you go to school. They doing they doing the best
You know
they
what?
can.
I'm looking at myself in you, the way you're talking.
There you go. I mean, we hear about the African soldiers too, the child soldiers. But I mean, the ones that know we
That was what I
understand.
went through too. My parents were very naive
killed
too.
a couple people
They'd be
too.
like, I was super smart too in school.
Yeah.
You can testify. I was just, I was class captain all throughout. but my parents never knew how bad I was.
Yeah, that's what
Tell
it
me,
is,
I
bro.
wanna hear
Until my
about
dad
No,
came
no,
to school one day, and they said they've already
That's
expelled.
good.
Let me fix the camera.
They
Let me
expelled
fix
me
the
from
mic.
school already.
Yeah.
And my dad never knew. So he
never
came
knew.
to check me in school. He saw the principal. And the principal mentioned, my dad mentioned, oh, you Anthony's dad? Oh, that boy's been expelled in school for like a month.
You been gone. You been gone.
You got expelled
But,
from
the,
school?
but the difference is that my dad was an house whooper.
Yeah.
that's what-
that's the
my
difference
pop was
from
too. But
we.
when you don't know, you
No,
don't
you don't
know.
know. That's what I was
Yeah,
trying to
you know
say
what I mean?
about examples and all that. Because as kids,
Yeah.
the length of the things we've done, if our parents know half of the shit with it,
Yeah.
As an
they'll
African
probably
child.
lose their shit. As an African child,
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, in my home, I was the coolest.
Right.
I never do shit. But my dad has caught me in some acts. I've done some things. Okay, I was the senior prefect in my school. I led the whole riot against the principal and the whole school. And my name was the first
Right.
on the list to be expelled just like a week or 2 weeks to
I'm
the end of the
shocked
final
about
exams.
all this revelation that is going on.
Yeah.
I
And
thought
then-
We're bringing the real. We're bringing the real.
They was good I know people. He don't even drink, and you're telling me, oh my God, I'm
my dad
appalled.
was a vice principal of the school
Oh.
Can you imagine?
back then before I left. So they reached out to him and like, okay, the worst case scenario was after the whole riot and everything, they gave me this old book and they were like, you know what, we want you to go from class to class and write down the names of everybody involved in this riot.
They want you to
You
snitch.
gonna be
And then I left, I called all my friends. I like, what are you fucking guys doing? Nothing. Let's go play Monopoly and checkers.
That's after
and
you told on them?
Yeah. We scaled the fence, we went home, we were playing checkers and Monopoly and just eating my mom's food. My dad was working in Lagos. It was the neighbor that snitched on me. It was the neighbor,
Yeah, that is African stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
Somebody
I
gonna
did
snitch on you.
she's upstairs. She was like, this guy should be at school.
But
They
she
should
might have
be-
helped you though.
Yeah,
By
she
telling
did.
on you.
Yeah, she was
helped
actually
you.
because
Yeah.
my dad dragged me back to that school, and like no, they fixed it.
Right.
But I was like, I'm not writing anybody's name. I'm not. You can. They expelled some people.
Okay.
Say about. Fortunately,
you?
I wasn't part of it. Yeah, they did. But
Well,
I was
he's
still
the
able
son
to
of the
scale
vice
through.
president.
Because your father was the vice principal, so you had
That's
to connect.
nepotism.
Yeah, but
He was there.
yeah.
So
Yeah, but-
I was the impact for you.
yeah,
yeah.
Say it again.
From
Yeah,
like,
parents' impact,
The- I
what
was
was the
the
effects on
impact.
them.
How
and
do
all
your
that.
mom feel?
No,
that
like I said,
mom, yeah.
by herself, she knew selling drugs. She I don't know if she cared or not, but she knew what was going on. We in one building, so everybody know what's going on in this one building. So we were doing it, to support her.
But was she
support our
working
family.
at this time? Your mom
No,
when you was younger?
public aid.
Okay, I have another question. You say your dad was on what's the name? Was drugs at that time? Was your mom in any that type of?
No, my mother did no drugs, just smoked cigarettes.
Okay.
Smoking right now,
See,
still today.
Our parents are negligence in knowing what we're doing as well.
As long as you bring your money in.
Would you say negligence?
Yes.
Hey,
It's
no,
not
you're getting us in
negligence. We
trouble.
have kids
Look,
now.
you got-
My daughter will say something sometimes, and I'll look at that girl. She's just 11. We're like, what do you know about that?
Yeah.
It's not negligence. They can only see as much.
As they know, they
As
don't.
they
They
know.
don't know. You don't know.
As much. Okay, look. As much as I try to password protect our phone, I do this, I do that. I still see some things pop up, and I'll be like, "What are you looking at this for?" And that is the thing I see. There's
That's
a
the
lot of things I
curiosity
don't.
assumption. That's what it
Like
is.
I said, I'm grown as much as I'm grown. It was only 3 years ago my parents knew I drank. Only 3 years ago.
That's
My
exactly where I'm
first
going,
first
because-
alcohol was when I was 12 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
But they
I
didn't
think-
know shit until 3 years ago. It was my birthday, and my brother posted a picture of me that this guy took with alcohol in my hand.
Wonderful.
And
Trying to go through your whole family.
But okay, fine. That's exactly
shit
where I'm going.
happened.
If I'm not using that language,
you drink?
of-
I'm like,
so Mayor, if I'm not using that language of
I don't know
negligence,
if I should use it.
excuse me, SOJ. If I'm not using that language of, being negligent to, the kids, I think in looking at it in the other way around, we should study our children to know the kind of, what is really happening to them
Right.
You
as they are
can.
growing. right?
That's true.
But that's not
Okay,
gonna change.
I'm going to ask
What
him
is
a
it gonna
question now.
change?
Yeah,
You're in America now.
yeah.
You kids back home, right, Nigeria. So why are you monitoring them?
No, there's some conversation that I will engage
The
them
conversation is what I want to let you know.
You,
It's a conversation.
you live with your dad when we were sticking to your apartment in Lagos then. Yeah. What kind of big child
Conversation.
were you?
You are snitching because you got in
We're
the
talking
car.
here.
You
Let us
took that
speak.
picture
no.
that he got caught drinking.
No, it's not.
Is
It's
that
not a
what-
big
He
deal.
lived with his
It's his
dad.
fault.
He-
He's
hold
snitching.
on. He lived with his dad. Right. The dad doesn't even know he brings like 4 of his friends to sleep in the flat with him.
In the same
Yeah.
flat. Yeah.
The
Now
man
you
goes.
snitching.
We know
Yeah.
he goes
Your
to
daddy
bed
watch
and now
this
we go to
thing?
the
Just don't
kitchen.
know.
He doesn't know.
You don't know what you don't. That's the whole thing.
The thing is this.
Yeah.
The thing is this.
Yeah.
You're a Yoruba man. They would say, "Aborolaso formuluabi."
Yeah, but they know how to do
The word
The
is
one
enough for the
is-
wise.
a word
Enough
is
is enough for the
enough for the
wise.
wise.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then they'll say, "Tamba biyotan, kiyotan right."
Then you-
That
you-
means after your
What,
parents
what
have done.
dialect is that y'all speaking?
Yoruba. That's
Yoruba? Okay.
That means after your
Sorry,
after you've been
Mayor.
nurtured.
You
Sorry,
you
we
never
live
done your
together. I don't
African
understand either.
ancestry. You Yoruba man.
No, that's not true. I give
I
you
can take
Senegal or Mali
No,
or
no.
Guinea.
What will you
He's
give me?
Nigerian.
He looked like Baltazar.
What will you
Somebody
give me?
claim. hey, everybody, y'all line up right there. There's somebody saying,
You know who
People, right?
Did you know
who
he's
she
comparing
compared
you
it
with?
what she comparing me
Oh
to?
my.
This guy has sex tapes on his phone.
Ah,
With
no.
over 400 women.
Excuse me.
Over 400
Excuse me.
different women.
Hello?
His wife,
He's a
his
king
brother's
in Africa
wife.
right
He's
now.
a king?
All women are
that's
showing him respect.
That's Femi the King, but
Okay?
no, ain't.
Because of us, he got relief from prison. So you are team.
Okay.
That.
Let's go back to the topic. Let's go back to the topic.
I have a question from
Okay.
the topic.
Okay.
I
For
have
both
a
of them,
question.
right? Okay.
Yeah, for both of y'all.
Okay.
So you see how both of them, Anthony and Mayowa, they all got in trouble when they was young. The same type of trouble that you got to. Do you think? And they didn't get 20 years in jail and stuff. Do you think that them growing up and being African in Africa was a big impact in their life
Oh,
versus
absolutely.
you being an African man in America?
United States laws are so antiquated when you're talking about punishment, and just the understanding of how it affects not just that person but the family and the community and the culture, everything. As I was a legal clerk for 15 years behind the wall in the prison, I understood that the United Nations said that you shouldn't have juveniles sentenced to life.
Yeah.
But in other countries, like we looking at Europe, we looking at Germany, we looking at different places. These juveniles, they committed even harsher crimes, and they out after 10 years. They out after 15 years.
Exactly.
They get to go see their family and go spend time with them while still incarcerated. So we seen all these different factors to why they said, well, you said you wouldn't do this, but America is still doing the things that they said they
Exactly.
wouldn't do. Right now it's getting a little better, but it's still like what we call young adults and emerging adults is what the term is they're using now.
And do you
What
think?
do you think?
Yeah.
What's your perspective?
Do you think it's better?
I got a question. How y'all laws and stuff? I'm not familiar with you guys' laws and policies and stuff. Like,
It's not as
the law in Africa. Well, I'm gonna say Nigeria. The law in Nigeria growing up, things are a little bit different. But the law back then is who you know.
Yeah.
You might commit
So
the
you
worst
commit-
crime
you commit murder,
and not
you
and
would
not
be
do,
out, what?
and not do shit.
Yeah,
And
people
not be,
go.
so you
yeah.
commit murder.
People get sent to jail. They don't stay in jail.
They don't stay in jail. They be at home.
If they have money, they go back to their
They
wife.
go back to their wife.
yeah, it's
money,
so no.
money,
Somebody
and connection.
has
You
put
can
them
get
in
stopped
jail.
by the police driving because this personally happened to me when I was in Togo. I was 17. I was driving. I came back. That's when that drink Nouveau just came out. So I just went back. They sent me back to Africa because, well, me being a
Don't
teenager.
cast yourself.
So anyway, when I got to Africa, I was driving. I drank Nouveau and Remy, celebrating my birthday.
Right.
On my way home, I got stopped by the police.
Okay.
So in America, I would have
That's
been like,
DUI.
damn,
DUI,
that's
yeah.
my life.
We don't
I
have
gotta-
we don't have DUI.
Man, let me tell you.
No
got
DUI. No.
Do you know?
Okay, for somebody that committed
I give the
crime that I
cop.
was
They ask
committing.
me
Listen,
what you got in your
how
car. I
much
give
time
them
you
the
get for that?
beer or whatever
Listen.
drinks I have. I share with them
You
and
get
I
life?
move.
If you have money,
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
No,
that's it.
If you
But
got money,
that
you might not go.
DUI in Africa, look, all I did was give the police officer 5,000 CFA, and 5,000 CFA is $2
Oh,
and
no.
that nigga let me go. Do you hear me? In my car, drunk as hell. drove home. The police, it's all about the money, but they still gonna come keep an eye on you to see where you're going and stuff
Okay,
like that.
Don't get it wrong.
Mayor.
There are a lot of innocent people in jail.
Mayor.
There are a lot of people that
Didn't do the crime.
Didn't even do the crime.
Okay, let's talk about.
And there's no rule
Mayor.
about, you can only be locked up for 48 hours before you're charged to court or 72 hours. No. The people who've been in there for years, they don't even know what crime they did.
No, sorry, please. This is the way I see it. Let's talk about the good side of the law in America too. This just talking about DUI. We're talking about DUI. We know a lot of people who lost their life to drinking. Yeah. So for me, DUI, you go to a party, you go to a club here, you be like, oh, I ain't drinking. Bro, drink. No, I'm not drinking. Why? I want to drive. We say, oh, but we didn't fly here too. We driving too. But some people know their limitation when it comes to drinking. But in Africa, we got no limitation. No.
And it's so sad because the government, it's not the government in particular, it's just the orientation of the people.
No, it's the system.
Like, okay, when we just got here, I'll be driving and you get to a red light. Nobody asks you to stop. You stop. Back home, I get to a red light. I'm trying to beat it before the next car gets there. I only stop when there's a cop around.
Exactly.
Driving back at home is
And I know I'm
ridiculous.
just going to bribe them and leave. Nothing is going to happen.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's the worst case scenario. I'm going to
I
give
do
you
that
money
too
and
way
I'm gonna
back
go.
home.
That's it. Somebody hits your
That's it.
car.
Right.
You even run somebody over.
There's no insurance, all that shit. No.
None of that shit.
Okay. Should I say-
God, I'm saying
But
this.
America
I've
has
knocked
a
somebody
child,
down
that
with my
would've
car
messed-
before. All I did was pay hospital bills.
Okay. Sorry. Tony and
And
Don.
here it's
Sorry.
different.
Like, why
I-
you said it about the government? Let me say this while it's on my mind. With these black leaders that the government disbanded, for under the pressure, they think these black leaders want to come out here and try to run an organization, do gang stuff. These black leaders want to come out here and try to help this community, help these young black people, not make the same mistake that they did.
They don't want that though.
They don't want.
They don't want that. Absolutely.
That's what we need. That's what we're trying to push these black leaders to get out to help. They're not trying to
They
run
know
nothing.
how strong we are.
That's
as being
the
black.
question I want.
They know
that's
how
the
strong
question I
we
wanna
are as
ask.
black people.
How were you able to,
And
after
then-
your jail time, sorry, how were
How
you
were
able
you
to
able to
fix
pick
into the
yourself
system?
up?
Because let me tell you the truth. In Africa, you go through that kind of shit,
Nobody associates with you.
you're gone.
Oh, back in the days.
Even till
now
now.
now it's different.
No.
A lot
No.
of our leaders and everybody have been in jail. Everybody
No,
has gone to
it's
jail at one
even
point.
till now, it's different.
Yeah, in the little structure of the community,
Yeah.
it might be, but in the overall system,
Because if you go to jail
all
in
the
Africa,
celebrities and
in
all
our
that, nobody
community,
cares.
Even celebrating now.
you don't find your way back into the system because your family, nobody wants to do. Oh, he's a president. He's an ex-president. Oh, he's been to jail.
Like Africa don't
Even
care
your
if that
wife.
was on paper,
I've
though.
seen women. Sorry, I've seen women here. I met a lady one time. She was telling me, "Oh, my husband has been in jail for the past 10 years." I said, "So, are you not going to move on?" He said, "No,
No, I'm waiting.
I'm going to wait. He's going to come back in the next 4 years." I said, "Oh, really? In Africa?" Oh,
Nobody even want to be associated with you if you've gone in for that long.
If you got locked up, your wife is gone,
Yeah.
the kids is gone.
What was the impact of the jail time
right.
in your lives? And what are the positive impact, the negative impact? I can't say positive alone. What are the positive and negative impact?
I'm a champion story. My story is a testimony. I'm a miracle sitting in front of y'all right now. Judge Stanley Sachs. Man, I wish I could get that sucker in the room, just for a little bit, just me and him in the room. You turn the lights out, you can't blame me. No, but I was actually saved in prison. I don't know if I'll be here today if I didn't get incarcerated because I was just so tricked. I was tricked and triggered by the enemy, the devil, that I was just doing stuff that people in their right mind wouldn't do. So to be in there and to come to myself, as we say, from a spiritual connotation, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. And I was saved in prison, man, and educating myself spiritually. I already had, like I say, a real foundation of book sense. So to develop myself and cultivate the skills that I was able to attain while I was there, to even be here today, it's a miracle. Like the people that I knew from back when, like a lot of them dead. A lot of my guys that I was hooked up with in the gangs and mobs, they dead or they in there for forever. And it was a blessing that I got locked up when I was a teenager. because just add one more year to it.
Well, hey,
And it's done. 16.
16.
Thing.
You add one more year, and they telling me, hey,
It's done.
it's done. You done. Because you sentenced as an adult at the time. So being sentenced as a juvenile actually was a blessing. For real, that I got grabbed off the street when I did, because I know if I didn't, I would have got caught up for doing some more stuff, maybe even harsher, and it wasn't gonna be no way out. I got guys that I was locked up, like I said, I was locked up 27 years straight. It's guys in there that did way lesser crimes than me that's still in there, that's stuck. It's people that I know innocent of cases that didn't do their crimes in there, and they watched me walk out. You know what I mean?
that's why really what you call it.
Yeah, they watched
That's
me
a
walk out.
suicide rate.
You know, that's why I want to hear your testimony as well, man, because
Like me and bro, we grew up together.
Yeah,
Like, when I
we
got
locked
kicked out of
in.
school on the south side, they sent me to where they at, on where he was at, on Crane. They thought they
But don't
was sending
blame
me,
it on us,
No,
man.
no, no, no.
Don't do that.
I mean, they sent me. They thought they was sending me to scare me today, but they're like, oh,
He's looking like, I feel right. This is my crowd, right? I feel right in with this.
These my guys. These my
Right.
people. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
I want to hear your story as well, man, because
Yeah.
I never heard it. I always thought about you and stuff, man, because
Yeah.
we was locked in.
Yeah.
Like
Like when after school, I used to come to their building every day after school. We was in the same organization, and we had a lot of similarities. Let me say that.
right.
I went to Youre EUR.
Yeah.
Mine,
You were right
when
in on this.
I don't have a story like him, like
Yeah.
life,
I know.
but I was in prison for a certain amount of time, and
For how
released a certain amount
total?
of time.
Was it up to 20 something
No,
years?
no, hell no.
Okay.
You already said something.
Yeah, a certain amount of time. Well, it probably add up to an in and out though. I probably ran across him about 50 times.
50.
Yeah, in and out. But fortunately, I got out this last time, man. By the grace of God, I met my wife. The best thing that ever happened to me, man. Opened my eyes up to a lot of things. When I was in prison, it opened your eyes up to family, friends, who gonna be there for you,
Yeah.
who got your back, support you. It just opened your eyes up. And I thank God for my wife for, I thank God for bringing her into my life as well, though, because it's
How
just
old was you when you met her? Sorry.
Well, I'm 46 right now, so I had to be 36. 10 years.
Do y'all have kids together?
No kids.
She don't have
This one
kids
you're
either.
going through family. Relax.
No, I want to see
Simple
every
justice
supporting
with
thing
blessing.
that you have in your life.
I ain't got
Do
no
you
kids
have
either.
kids?
I ain't got no
Do you
kids.
have a
I was
spouse?
16. Nah.
Okay.
Hey, I mean,
Did you have any females that kept you while you was in there? Did you see
well, you know
run
the
through
tricks
any
and the tricks. You know the move.
You know the
guys,
moves.
guys getting their pen pal
Right.
game on. You try, hey, hook me up with your cousin. That type
Man,
of
you
thing.
know how it go.
See, like, did you
care if
run
she's-
into any death inside, like suicide rates? I was
Oh,
in there.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, when you talk about where I was at, I was in a maximum facility. I was sentenced to life. Everybody around me
Right.
got life, 90, 80, 70 years, 100% of the time is up. So when you're talking about death, it's like people committing suicide. Like I've been in SEG, what y'all know as the hole, the pit, whatever.
Right.
I was in SEG one time for 30 days when 4 people killed themselves.
Wow.
In that amount of time.
How were they able to kill themselves?
You want to kill yourself, you can kill yourself.
Yeah.
It's too many ways. I mean, I don't want to encourage nobody. But if you want to kill yourself, you can kill
Because
yourself.
I'm trying to see how is that possible when they take everything from you when you get locked up.
Well,
How
no,
are
they
people-
don't take everything from you. I mean, when you entering into the jail system, they do. When you in prison, you've been convicted.
Yeah.
You got ample opportunity.
Right,
You
you
can kill
entitled
yourself,
to
or people
all
can
the
kill you.
necessities, right.
Get killed or get killed.
You ain't never heard nobody say I'm
Right.
homicidal and suicidal at the same time. I done heard people say that. Like,
I have another question too.
Okay.
So the corporation or whatever gang that you were in
Yeah.
before when you was outside, when you got maximized, when you was in jail or prison, did you meet people from there in there,
Oh,
or
absolutely.
was you still claiming who you were when you was
yeah,
locked up?
I mean, I didn't really come to myself and had that epiphany moment, that wake up moment. So I'm gonna say, 10, 15 years into it, because I
After
was
you getting
still,
locked up.
yeah, you was still in it. You still got a lot of hopes and aspirations when you first get in there. You going through your appeals, thinking that I'm gonna get this time back and I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna have it. So And it was structured in prison. It's more structured in prison than it is in the street.
Okay.
So yeah, you line right in like a soldier, get in formation the same way you was doing in the street, but now it's in prison.
Right.
The times have definitely changed, but in those times it was even more structured because now you got nowhere to run. Like when you in the street, you can be here, there, you can leave the state, wherever, and get away from that element.
everything's-
In prison,
You're where you are.
where you going?
Yeah.
You going nowhere.
That's the misconception with these youth out here now. I think they think these guys gonna ride with them when they commit
When they
these
get locked up.
crimes.
Yeah, was they by your side
my
when you was
homies them
locked up?
they got my back and all. They ain't gonna see you nothing. They ain't
But-
gonna do
but-
nothing
but-
for
You
you.
get a short,
They
you
gonna
get
try to mess on your girl.
you get a short
all
run,
type of
all
stuff.
that stuff. Yeah, he's absolutely right.
Right, they gonna do all that.
But the truth is this: here, people don't get scared to go to jail. I've seen many things. People be like, yeah, I mean, in Africa, you don't want to go to jail
But shit.
because
Oh, I've seen some of them jail beyond.
because we watch movies there. I remember them when we watch
I
all these Boys in the Wood, all this stuff. They show the prison scene, guys in jeans, in t-shirt, white t-shirt, they are, you know,
They eating
bandana.
food and
They're
stuff.
eating food.
In Africa, your
They
family
know
gotta bring
gym,
you food.
They get in
People
sunlight.
always say, oh,
So they don't serve
they
you
would-
food out?
yeah, they'll be like, they don't, they wouldn't mind
It's
to
crazy.
come.
It's crazy over there. With
Yeah, they wouldn't mind to come
Yeah,
to jail
your
in
family
America.
gotta bring you food. Now your
Yeah.
family ain't fuck with you because
I
you
used-
locked up. You can
I've
Some
watched these
people-
shows where you know, like
Some
you
people-
living you living in prison. Here, you living in better conditions in certain places
A lot
around the
of people
world.
in jail.
Yeah.
You live in a good world.
You wrote a
Jail,
book.
Yeah.
From jails in Nigeria,
Mayor.
a lot of people in jail have not seen what a mattress looks like.
No, Anthony
They
said
never
you-
seen a man.
They sleep on the
Anthony,
bare floor.
Anthony,
Yeah.
you said you wrote a book in jail, right?
I wrote 3 books.
Oh.
You,
I got
where,
3 books.
Where you
published,
gonna
but I
get?
got
Where you
10.
gonna get the time
A
or the
pen and
mental
paper.
space?
The one you have in
Where
your
the pen and
brain.
paper?
In Africa, you go to
pen and
jail, you
paper.
Who you
forget
gonna
about
get your
it.
pen? I understand what you. I've seen it. I understand perfectly what you.
I
saying.
do an I do an
Food,
outreach
all
program.
that stuff, toilet paper, all
I do an
that,
outreach
the
program.
smallest things is
and they
crazy.
were asking us to please provide them with beans because it's been over 8 months. They had anything protein. It's been all starch.
What about meat? Just say about look. When the last time
They
you had
didn't.
meat?
No, don't even make. They said beans.
No meat,
because
bro.
it would be
Don't even
enough
know
to
what
cook.
meat. I've seen it. I know it.
you
That's
just
why I'm
eat
like.
beans.
I have a question.
It's a hotel, what they say in American prisons. Like, man, it's like this,
Yeah.
the Marriott.
That's why them Venezuelans so comfortable. They love it over there. They got no problem committing no crimes.
No.
They what?
What? It's sweet like
We
this
get
over
3
here?
hots in the cottage.
I have a
Man, we
question.
got
I have
heat
a
over
question
here.
for the both of you.
got
What do you think you would have changed about your past?
If you could go back and do it
Just the
again.
both of you.
I wouldn't change nothing because it what made me who I am today.
For real.
That's an excellent answer for him. I'm sorry that I had to come to this point that people had to die in order for me to get to this position. To where I'm, I'm a whole man. I'm full. I've had a real a cycle of life. Maybe had a few lives in this time that I've been on this earth, but to be the man that I am now and have people die at my hand, it weighs on my conscience more. I had to actually have a callousness throughout my life that it kind of like didn't affect me in certain periods, but now when I gave my life to God, I had to be more conscious of the families and the people, the other people that you affect and the impact you have as a from a macro text, and not just, just a small little, sample size. So yeah, that's what I would change. People wouldn't die. But I do I appreciate the person that I am. I know who I am. And to have to go through all that stuff to get here, it's sad that it had to be that way. And I just wouldn't want people to have to die behind that,
But what if they were trying to harm you though? Why people?
Exactly.
Well, that's different. People weren't trying to harm me.
Exactly.
I was just,
Gangbanging?
yeah.
But then I got a question. Is it like the movies where you see the ghost behind you? When they say when you kill somebody, that person's spirit is just chasing you for the rest of your life?
That's a lie.
Because I want to know if just in case I decide to kill somebody.
She thinking it's
I
a
want to
ghost?
know, just in case I decide to kill somebody, is the person's
Is that your
spirit
problem?
Just
going
in
to
case you decide.
No, that's
Who plays your glass?
she already finished her drink.
Okay, that's how. Okay, no,
That's what
I see where the charges is coming from.
Get some more. She need another.
I mean,
Can I get some water?
you feel a level of
Whoa,
guilt.
whoa.
You feel a level of
Monster
guilt
water.
as you come to yourself. But when you in that, it's like
You don't care.
you don't care about. I mean, I was to a point where And
They don't hunt
God
you?
forgive me, like, you know, when I hear the stories like serial killers and different people and how they, you know, they can kill people and just go on about their life like, and you hear how other people like
They get satisfied
they couldn't
like
just
it's
they
a hunger.
just couldn't. It's just like people. I know I grew up with serial killers. You know, they say a serial killer, if you kill more than 5 people, you're a serial killer.
No, it's because
It's
she
3
hasn't
now.
watched
It's 3 now, like, it's
Relu. You
a
kill
life-
the spirit. You kill the
not-
spirit. They come.
it-
You will shoot them again.
No,
just-
I
there's
just
no
want to
price.
know. I just want to know because a lot of people be pissing me off, so I'm trying to learn how to eat.
You better go and drink your drink.
No. You don't want to learn that. You don't want to learn. You don't want to build that that ethic, that callousness up in yourself because you hurting yourself and you want love.
Is the spirit
you want somebody
hunting you or not? Because I
No.
want to
Ain't
know.
no spirit hunting me.
Okay, period. Because you saw tales from the hood, right?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
You know, I want to know if it's nothing like that, then I'm Gucci. I'm
No,
getting
Nah, I mean,
Hey, you heard
Male.
me say,
Some
he
people-
turned his life over to God. That's
some
man.
people can't take that though. Somebody like some people can kill somebody and it's gonna haunt them. They just can't live with themselves. They go
That's
in
where
and
the
tell the
suicide
police.
come in, right.
That's
That's
the
where the
they gonna
suicide
go,
come in,
I
all
killed
that.
somebody.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know you.
She gonna tell on
She
herself.
gonna tell on herself. She gonna be like, I did this shit.
the police stopped me. I'm like, officer, look, I took a couple of shots. I'm just trying to let you know.
I got some of their
Question.
story. Anthony and Don. If they give me a question, been there, done that, write on it. I go write their story.
Their
yeah?
stories.
Yeah.
Okay. On a quick one, how was it for you guys to be able to integrate yourself back into the community, into
yeah.
the system after?
You wanna go first, bro?
the whole
No, you
time
go
you
ahead.
went away?
Oh yeah, well, I developed myself quite a bit, took a lot of trades, and it was a lot of things that were not afforded to me because I had the natural life sentence. The way they do it in prison, if you are shorter to the door, so if I got 50 years and this guy got 49 years, he gets an opportunity to go to classes, trade, school, college, you know, whatever that's available. Because I had natural life, I was not afforded those resources, you might say. So I had to take correspondence course. I had to pay for a lot of stuff. My family, rest in peace, my mom, she used to, you know, send me self-help books, and I would just educate myself in a lot of ways. So I was developing myself from the time I had my awakening moment, like, man, you know, one day I'm coming home. And when I come home, I'm gonna need to be able to provide for myself, take care for myself. So I was just studying. And people are like, man, what you doing all this? You got life. You ain't, you know, but me, I'm like, no, I'm coming home.
Right.
I'm coming home.
Yeah,
You know,
just pick
the-
I never lost the
give
hope.
up hope, yeah,
I never
give up,
lost the
yeah.
hope. So when
Gotta
they
be
said life,
positive.
it was like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, I didn't flinch, none of that.
What year did you get released?
I just got home in 2022.
Damn.
Oh, wow, welcome.
I left at 16. I came home at 43.
Damn it, man.
Let's show
You don't even look like somebody who's been
No,
for
man,
like
don't I
eight
look
days.
good? Where my camera at? Right, that's me right there. Okay, nah.
So getting back into the community has been through the things you learned.
Let me get y'all what I'm doing now. I'm a barber.
Okay.
The best barber in town. If y'all know, y'all need to
Where
come.
you at?
Yeah,
I'm a mobile barber. Check out my website,
Yeah, say it out,
AnthonySpalding.com. I work at one of the best shops in the street in a city called State Street Barbers.
Okay.
You feel me? You know,
Where's
come
the
out
kid?
there.
Where?
Where?
It's
I'm
on
gonna
North
bring
and
soda
West.
to you.
Where?
But you know,
Oh, you
just hit me. I'm
downtown
gonna give
then.
y'all my line,
Right.
so y'all can just hit me
I'm
up.
gonna bring soju to you.
Yeah. I'm
So,
dope. I do everything.
What has been your
I do
impact?
everything.
How was
All
your
cuts and all.
integration into the community been like for you?
Well, I've been out 10 years now. You know, I've been out 10 years, you know, and I had in my mind. My mind said, I'm going to, you know, fuck this shit. I'm finna do, you know, what's right.
Yeah.
Man, I got my GED in prison, college degrees, all that. And I came out, you know, running.
Yeah.
Head up running, man.
You gotta have
know,
it in your
just that.
mind and in your heart.
Gotta be
to
your
say,
heart,
man,
yeah.
That shit is over with.
Yeah.
Because
I can't
mean,
be
we
50 years
seeing-
old standing on no block or no corner.
Exactly.
That's
you
crazy.
seeing the guy. I'm
That's
46. We
crazy.
the
That's
same age.
insane.
We was in the
50?
same school.
Yeah, you
same
got guys
classes,
that's standing on the
everything.
block.
You
50
feel me?
years old. Like,
Yeah.
no hope, no
Trying to
life,
be a
no
rapper.
purpose.
So,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing for the?
Don't say that. I was
your
thinking about
community?
being a rapper.
Well, I'm a barber,
You just
so I
killed my
do back to
dream.
school haircuts. I do haircuts for the veterans. I did haircuts for the migrants. I go to hospitals. I go to nursing homes, and I speak. Like I do speaking engagements. I go to colleges and speak about my past. I'm podcasts and speaking
I've seen you
engagements
on
like
TV
this.
before.
Yeah. You should, I'm somebody to see. Y'all what?
Yeah.
You know. No, but also
Yes,
my
yes.
show. I
Have
do
you
a
seen
one man
me
show.
before?
I just did a show. I've been performing it the last year. Called "To Cut a Barber's Hands." I've been performing it all around the city, and it's about what happens to people when they come home and they don't have the opportunities that other people have.
Go back into
So
the
it's telling
system.
you what the system telling you is to go back to the street then. Because in other words, if I didn't have the skill set and wasn't able to get my license, they told me, okay, well, what you want me to do?
Right.
That's what I know. I know how to rob people. I know how to shoot people. And if I'm not making money legitimately, which some of the brothers that I know that came home,
Wanna go
back in there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's the recycle thing again. It's the recycle.
It's
Right.
like we are what you call batteries to the system. When you take away the batteries, the system can't run. So they need these jobs. They need the people to be able to come in there and go back and get, you got to get a lawyer now. So the lawyer, so you got to get health care. You get the doctor, the judge get a job. The bailiff get a job. Everybody getting jobs off the inner city community, off the black brothers and sisters that's getting locked up right now. So if you educating yourself, if you taking care of yourself and creating an avenue for yourself, then you keep money out their pockets. You keeping generations of they family, because what they do, they take their sons and say, oh man, you're gonna be a correctional officer too. We're gonna set you up with a job. And then his son get a job off what, you know what I mean, off our criminal elements. So yeah, man, I just encourage a lot of people. I speak a lot. Any chance somebody get to wheel me out. I work with different organizations, do violence prevention, I do marches, I do whatever it is that I could do to give back, to try to take some of the guilt off my heart too, because what it is a lot of guilt, man. I know I destroyed and burnt down a lot of bridges in the community. And I took myself away the community when I had a vibrant future. So turning to that criminal element takes away from those things that I could have been doing as one of the possible leaders. You know what I mean? I took myself out of that and became the vehicle to do all this criminal stuff, man. So I know it's my responsibility right now to give back, talk about this stuff, and to keep it real with them, you know? Not to scare these kids, not to scare them. Tell them, oh man, you gonna do this, you go to jail, you gonna get raped, or you do this, you gonna get stabbed. I'm gonna tell you the real.
Shit.
Yeah, well, some of them
might like it, man. That's how they going.
Well, in today's generation.
Today's generation, you be scared.
Today's
don't care.
generation.
Today's generation kids, and I would say they're not scared of anything. That's my own opinion, because I believe they're not seeing the right guidance. They don't have the right guidance around them. And I'm not faulting them for that, because who stands as a guidance for them is only putting them through what he or she knows at that point in time.
Well, let me give you this too, though. They not scared of because they don't really know.
No, exactly.
They don't like. When I gave my time back, I had to go back to the actual Cook County jail to get resentenced in front of a judge. And when I was in that bullpen, I was around a lot of youth. Oh man, OG, what you in? I'm like, man, I'm giving this time back. And they did not know the sentencing guidelines. For a murder, the murder carries 45 to life. Now you out here catching bodies, shooting guns, and you don't know that you're gonna be in there for a minimum of 45 years if they convict you.
Man.
A minimum of 40, because you get 25 for the gun, for shooting a gun, and the sentencing statute for a murder, homicide is 20 to 60. So it go from 45 to life. And if you 20 years old, if you however old you are, and they give you 45 years, bro, you want to do 45 years in prison?
Bro, you know the messed up part. Some of them can't read.
And some of them can't.
That is so
They don't know.
sad.
That
That
some of them
is so
can't.
sad.
That's the
Or some
barrier
of
right
them-
there.
yeah, there's
they don't
so
understand,
much
no comprehension at all.
Disability that is going on in the community, especially today,
Yeah.
that they can't comprehend none of the stuff that
Exactly.
they're getting charged for.
Exactly.
And you know what else I just learned too? Did you know that like, as of 2024, most of the people that are being locked up for carrying guns or trying to shoot somebody with a gun is black females? Or no, not black female, just females in general. That is so crazy. to me.
Because a lot of the females
You guys
is the
it's your
one that's
mood.
in
They taking on the masculinity. They taking on the masculinity.
Yeah, they involved with a lot of this.
And it's not our
BS
fault.
out here.
It's not our fault because most of the
Females.
boys in this generation are not like the men. The
Yeah,
boys
because
and the females.
Who's fault? Don't go that way. Because if you go that
Which
way,
one is step
relax.
up?
You gotta take some
Relax,
accountability.
relax.
You gotta take some accountability.
You should learn to take accountability.
Now-
Don't push it
But you
around.
know, for me, I'm gonna say like,
let me ask, every time you're talking to a man, he'll be like, he's too hard. get in touch with your feminine side. Now they get in touch with their feminine side, and you're mad about it.
So what will you
What do you want?
You got
The man, I don't want nothing about feminine about my man. If you look a little pretty, we getting out the house and you took 2 hours to get dressed. I don't want you.
Right.
Don't take long. Don't do anything feminine. Like everything about my man has to be straight. And these kids, this generation today,
Right.
that's why there's no discipline and structure in the street. Because most of these boys today are too feminine. They're trying to make the black man too feminine, and the black man was never.
Sorry to say, I don't know much about it.
Mayor, oh yeah. I just want to say something.
Wait, we was talking about why the guy's scared, why he's not scared.
Yeah.
Let me finish. Can I finish this one thought too, though?
Sure.
Because they don't know. But this the other thing. When you in there, you find out. You psychologically trick yourself into not knowing. But you know what tell you? If you got a shorty, if you got a kid, and you see them, and they was this like this when you left, and now they like this, and you looking at them grow up through pictures. If you had a mom, like my mom passed, my father passed when I was locked up. You feel what I'm saying? Like these ain't the things they tell them. Like, man, it's not even a physical thing. It's the mental. You know, you hearing about the guys, some of them still out there. Like bro said, they fucking your girl. You know what I mean? They out there going to the club, they kicking it.
Them drugs, them drugs wear off. That's when reality kick in. The pills and all that shit start wearing off. Like, damn, I'm in this motherfucker for life. Like,
For life, for time.
Right.
And you hearing all the guys, and then some of them coming in, you like, bro, why you ain't never hit my hand? Why you ain't never send no money to my books?
Right.
Why you ain't never come visit me? And no, when they come in, you know what they saying? Man, let me get a care pack, man. You got some soap, you got some honey buns and some noodles that I can get to
Can I borrow
get
your
through.
shoes so I can
And they
take a
ain't
bath?
sent you a pecan while you was in there. And all the, and you know, the clout in your head thinking you a G. Oh man, you getting status in the mob and all that. But that don't mean nothing.
Nothing.
It don't mean nothing because you stealing with all that. You still in prison with it.
And then
While
think
people
about all
living.
that. Don't nobody owe you nothing.
Nothing.
real.
Man. That's
And don't
that's
get
the
mad
thing
at the
that
people that don't put the
right. That's the thing that people man you owe me. You gotta give me. Don't nobody owe you nothing out here. You
Well,
made these
I just wanna ask a
mistakes
question.
on your own, man.
Well,
Man up and take full responsibility.
The city of Chicago, for example, I mean, we have like 2 black mayors now, Lori Lightfoot and the present one. What is the government doing? I mean, you have a lot of messages in you, the 2 of you. You have, I mean, you are the right person to send to schools, to communities to talk because
to change their minds.
So what is the government doing? Are they doing enough?
They ain't doing
Are they doing enough?
They're not
To
doing nothing but
benefit
try to lock
the
you
kids.
up.
Exactly.
That's all it
They're
is.
not
They
hard.
trying to
Let me
disband
tell
the
you.
black community. That's all it is.
They're not doing anything because let me explain something to you. Just 2-3 years ago, most of the schools in Chicago were locked up because America is saying that they didn't have enough money for the education in America. But all these Venezuelans and immigrants got
Right.
They get hit. They
And our
get
taxes
money. They
and
get
all
bread.
that stuff going up. We paying for all that
Okay.
stuff. You know, we paying for
But
everything
so
that they come
the
over here. And they
government
come
is
over here
not
and commit
doing
all
anything.
these crimes and
But
all
you,
this
if
stuff.
you think they're doing anything to benefit the kids that are growing in the future, your schools are just getting no. It's not there yet.
Because
if
the-
we have money for the gun laws and stuff like
because
that,
the kind of information they have, I know there are some kids out there. If they don't,
Yes,
if they
there are some
don't,
kids that will benefit
if they don't have
from
this
even
information,
something in
they will
school.
end up.
You know,
That's
when you
what I'm
guys
saying.
talk at schools, book section, the government doesn't need to give you handouts. What I mean by handout is cash. They don't need to give you those handouts, but they can create an enabling environment within the school whereby you guys can go in and talk to the younger ones there and educate them.
What you say? See,
Is that changing
That could be
anything,
that's
There's a
debatable.
little bit of change.
What you saying is debatable, bro.
That's all it takes is one.
You take some shorties.
That's it.
If you want to change some people in the neighborhood, right? Some kids. You tell them, man, look, man, y'all don't need to be out here selling drugs.
who
But
you?
what they gonna do?
Then that's where the government
They need resources. They need development and education and understanding, so they understand why they need a job. Those are the handouts that people are
looking for.
keeping away from.
That comes from the household, though. It steals from
Well,
the
not
household.
even where that
right.
comes from the government.
It takes
because
everybody. It's the
it was taken
government
away
and
from
the
us in
household.
these
But-
times
but the
and-
truth is
and
this.
given to the Venezuelans like
Yeah,
this.
in Africa.
So why the little bro them can't get them?
Yeah, exactly.
them
For
resources?
real.
You know.
In
Because I
Africa,
can't even get a proof
in
of
Africa
welfare.
that we come
But
from.
these people get 8,000, 9,000 on link card and stuff.
We're not talking about that.
I will stop you.
On a more serious note,
Can I buy?
hold on. In Africa that we come from,
Yeah.
we don't have the resources. That's just the bitter truth.
Right.
I always tell people, if I tell you what I've been through in my life, you want to change what you've been through with mine.
Right.
That's the truth.
Right.
Tell me.
Because we don't have the resources.
You made it with less.
Nothing.
You made something out of nothing.
Yeah.
With nothing. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Negative. It's even negative. You're
Yeah.
running
Right.
negatives.
Yeah.
Not,
We started from -0.
Right.
But it's just the community, because you see the difference is this: we see people who have been able to check out of the community, who've made it. They come back.
Right.
We see them.
Well, let me tell you, it ain't that y'all made it with less or nothing, because y'all had the character and the heart and the education. You see what I'm saying? Because people will say, man, look, you can give me nothing. I can come out with nothing, and I'm gonna make something out of nothing because it's in me.
It's in you. Your
feel me?
heart.
Because
Yeah.
it's in me.
I'm a hustler.
Well,
Right.
there's a lot of brothers will say that, like, man, Martin Luther King said, man, hey man, y'all brought the Irish over here. Y'all gave them homes. Y'all gave them jobs as policemen. This, that, and the other. Y'all told them, man, just tie up your boots. This is Martin Luther King. This is what they told the Irish. Martin Luther King said, man, y'all we ain't got no boots to tie up. We ain't got no boots. So we have the same. We have a synergy in that aspect. Well, man, we ain't had nothing. You talking about sharecroppers who came from when they told us, man, we was free, and what they got? Nothing. Didn't have the education, didn't know how to read, didn't know how to write. So we kindred spirits in a lot of that way. And that's why I think like a lot of discourse between Africans and Africans in America, right? Well, people say, man, look, man, people like a lot of Africans that's in America say, man, look, man, the African brothers, man, they don't want us over there. They don't like us.
That's
I know
divide
y'all
and
heard
conquer.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like,
what
man,
they
like-
want to do.
and we
to
the
divide
strongest- we the
African America
strongest
versus
race in this
they don't
world,
want
man.
you to be
Yeah,
together.
right.
Yeah, but
Because
it's a mentality though.
That's a lie.
Because when I
yeah.
came to
We
America,
love you.
growing
Go to
up in
Africa.
grade
You're gonna
school,
see.
Yeah.
growing up in grade school, I was attacked so many times. But like when I meet the white kid at school or Asian or whatever, they like, oh wow, you're from Africa and stuff like that. And then they took me from Catholic school and put me in public school. Oh, bitch, you think you the shit. You coming to school. You got your micros. You got your gold
Right,
on.
right, right.
My mama told me you African bitches don't like us. And they waiting for me after school. I got jumped. Like, I swear, but, you know, the most people that I had to fight against being in America is other African Americans.
yeah.
Because they thought that we weren't. We
yeah,
felt
like,
superior.
it's
When
like
they
a
wasn't
competition.
true.
Right. Right.
Yeah, one thing I've seen again, sorry to cut you off. One thing I've seen again is when you're talking about making public speeches and going to schools and all that.
Right.
Education, the little I know about it, is not what it used to be or what we think it is. A lot of books have been banned about American culture.
Yeah, that was
history.
Correct.
Yeah.
They don't want them to.
real.
They don't want them to
They-
know
they
what's
give you-
going on.
Yeah, they give you white books.
Yeah, and then
Books, they don't even give you notebooks.
in a regular school settings, I'm sorry to say, this is something that would regularly occur back home too. But thinking about it, they would rather you bring someone who's been successful, a doctor, a professor. No, they will be like, why do you want somebody to come and talk to our kids about how it is in jail or what you have to do when you go to jail or what you have to do to stay out of jail?
Right.
So
It's
here
preventative is
yeah,
what it is.
Now, they have a professor who's probably never been booked for overspeeding, talking
Right.
about, oh, you got to focus on your books. You got to do this and on to go.
realize
But
it,
you don't have the real people who've gone through the system
Right.
who really knows what it takes, who really know what it takes for you to stay out of it.
Well, you know, Fortune 500 companies, they get people who have been to school, they got master's degrees, and they call them consultants. We consultants.
Exactly.
I'm a consultant.
Yeah.
Book my services. Hit me up on AnthonySpalding.com. If people out there that would like to have me speak to some people about prison issues and also how to maintain and come out with your head hanging. Head up.
I hate to say this, but there's a lot of ball players, smart people in prison.
Yeah.
You know, they come in prison.
Yeah.
The smartest
Yeah.
people is in prison.
Yeah.
Sharp.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
But they got caught up in the system, and they got thrown in. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Being black in America, being black in the world is a hard thing to deal with.
We make it hard on ourselves though. We you know
We have our own
we
problem.
so divided.
That's the
You know
truth.
we so slick divided out
Yeah.
here. We make it hard
It
on
is.
ourselves instead of just come
we are
together
divided.
helping each other. Yeah.
We don't have each other's back.
We don't have each other's
exactly. We
Especially when
don't.
it comes to the community, like jobs and stuff like that. Like if you look in America, even Chicago, like look at the police station, look at the firemen, the fire department. You got the Mexicans, they got one department that taken all over by them. If you got the police, they got one department. The British are taking over somewhere. When the black people, what did we take over?
No, the problem is this.
What do we
Let's talk
have?
about that.
What do we
in 2
push
minutes.
ourselves in?
We don't trust
we have 7
ourselves.
minutes.
We look at
Even-
each other
even
like
in Africa.
competition too.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
you
in
know what I
Africa.
mean?
That's all it is.
Within Africa,
Yeah.
we don't like ourselves. That's the truth.
We see ourselves as competition. The
Yeah,
competition is
the
still
competition,
the
yeah.
bomb.
I want to be
Stop
the
that.
one. I want to be the one
I
who's
wanna
known
be
as
the
the
only
greatest.
one.
Mainly
I wanna be the one who's
Nigerians.
known
And
as the-
I want to address this to all our viewers.
Yeah.
Africans, we don't hate Africa in American. We love you guys. That is, if you want to know,
You heard him. You
go,
heard him now.
Go to
Yeah.
Go to Nigeria from the
I gotta-
airport.
Yeah, from the airport.
You see how they gonna welcome you.
It's so welcoming.
I mean,
as
we
soon as you leave out the
Yeah.
airport, it's like, oh, there's the home, the
Once you
level,
speak.
food, everything. They just welcome you. But America don't let you know that. They
Right.
they make you think that.
They
as
want
soon
you
as
to think
got
that. Then that's
the
part of the-
lion. People
Yeah.
are sleeping outside.
Yeah,
It's
someone told
but
me, oh,
now-
I heard I'll be kidnapped immediately I get
They
from the airport. I'm
kidnapping
like,
people and
who's
stuff
kidnapping
like
you?
that.
Come on.
Nah. There's some people. Like,
going,
when they
I'm
go
going.
back,
I
when
got
you
my
go
passport,
back,
I'm going. I'm
I
going
pray
for
for
sure.
you that you will want to come back
Yeah,
because a
yeah.
lot of
You don't
people
wanna
when
come
they
back.
go,
I'm going.
they don't never,
I'm going.
and that's what
my
they
mother
don't
went.
want.
Rest in peace. Before she went to the Gates No Return.
Oh yeah, in
She
Senegal.
went to. I got the picture. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh,
Her,
yeah.
one of my
You need to
mentors,
go.
Dr.
I think
Bro,
that's
so
where
I
you're
went.
from. You're not
I'm
from
on-
Nigeria.
No,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
She wants you to be in that.
Really trying to get it in.
you look like a Senegalese.
I told him he looked like a Senegalese.
If we say we should continue here, we won't stop because this has been
look
an
like Akon
interesting
uncle.
episode. This has been an interesting episode.
They handsome, huh?
I
Yeah,
really love the information.
She looking for
I
love,
love
though.
the energy in the
No,
house
I'm
today.
running.
Before we round up,
Running.
what advice will you give to the younger generation on how to move, on how
Yeah.
to create,
Let's
and
get out of
also
jail.
for you to
My advice is, man, it's not worth it, man. It
For
look
real.
good. It look good on social media. It's not worth it, man. Straight up, because nobody's gonna be there with you in the end but yourself, man. Once some drugs and all that stuff wear off, it's not worth it. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
thank you.
Not throwing your whole life away for nothing, man.
And for me, one thing I always talk to the youth about is the end game. And that's with anybody. What's your end game? What's your purpose in life? What's your understanding of who you are? And once you know who you are, and understand that it's more than just about the small things. It's your life is a stretched out period. It's just not just this small little section. Think about the end game, the end part. What's the best thing for you? And it's just this part right now that you living, you know?
So it's about the bigger picture.
It's a bigger picture.
This always, all those shiny cars, those diamonds, and all of that. When you die, they're not gonna bury you with it.
I know,
You're
but
not going to
I
heaven.
know, but you want to ride with the guy with the shiny car, right?
Who me?
Yeah.
I was raised
I
by
got
my
a Cadillac
dad.
in the back. I like it.
I'd rather go hiking or some shit. I like guns. I'd rather go shoot something. Yeah, I like the guy with the bigger gun.
The bigger gun or the bigger gun?
What kind of gun? There are
I
two
like the
different
one
kind
when
of
you
gun.
shot it, your whole body.
No.
Like
That's the bigger gun.
That's the bigger gun.
That's it, like, and like the one that shoot longer.
You talking about that other
Give me
gun?
that.
Yeah, hold on.
Give me that. Okay.
All right. It's been fun hanging out with Anthony.
AnthonySpalding.com. Check me out. You feel me?
Donald, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Donald Dino from the West Side Chicago Rockwell Projects.
All right. We'll make sure we post their social media handles
Right,
on
right,
the captions too.
Check
so
me out.
You guys can check them out.
Thank
and
you
follow.
very much
And
for
like
coming.
you
I
said,
appreciate it.
he
I
does
like-
speeches and all that. He's a very great barber. I think he's gonna do my next haircut.
There we go. There we go. I'm gonna get them fresh.
Yeah. So
Check out my shows.
Thank you
my
all
social
for
media, all that good stuff.
We're coming to your shop.
There you
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Come
coming
check.
too. I need.
I
What
don't
you
know.
need
what?
Too, man.
I wouldn't
Right.
say. I wouldn't say you and Sergi coming together.
Yeah, me and
She's
Toby's coming.
she's trying to get
Because so he been feeling himself with that hair.
Oh.
He been feeling
Look like you get him a little fade, lover boy. You know what I mean? Look.
Since they told
All
me
right.
you can summon this.
Oh,
Right.
that's it.
All right.
Dimples been
thanks,
dimples.
thanks for watching this episode, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Please share.
Share.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.